All right, welcome back to the TCI studios. We've got a couple of dreary folks here. Sam
right.
drove the bus home last night from the big win in Charlotte. I came back about 1:30. You said you guys got back about 2?
Yeah, I went to bed at 2:30 last night. So.
Wow. Well, first off, let's start with last night, Sam. The thing that impressed me the most was how many Clemson fans showed up, because the game didn't mean anything.
Right.
But there was a ton of orange in the stands supporting you guys. What did that feel like?
I thought it was awesome. And I had a feeling that a late game like that was going to bring more fans, but not necessarily Clemson fans. So it meant a lot to us, especially us seniors. That meant a lot to have our fans there, our people there. So it was awesome.
What was it like? Obviously, wasn't anything on the line, but it looked like last night you guys were just having fun out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing to lose. We were able to just go out and play baseball, and that was what we loved. That's the game that we love. That's the game we grew up playing, and so it felt like we were able to be free. Actually enjoy the game, So it was awesome. It was really fun last night.
Obviously, you're not moving on to postseason, which is what you come to Clemson to do. What was that bus ride home like for you guys last night?
So last night we were wanting to have fun because last time being together for a lot of us, last bus ride, and so, but kind of the way the environment was based on the season, based on just kind of where we were, we couldn't really do that, just kind of the nature of everything, but we were wanting to have fun. We were still enjoying each other, but just on a kind of lower level, I guess.
All right, so you went through a COVID-shortened season, and then you went through this season. What for the people out there, how hard was going through the COVID experience for you guys and not having the stands full and all that you guys had to go through the last year?
This season?
Well, this year and then last year getting cut off early. What was all that experience like?
For me, it was actually a great experience. Able to go home and kind of regroup because I was struggling a lot last season. So I was able to regroup personally, individually, and also athletically speaking. So it was great for me. I know it was tough for a lot of guys, or a lot of the coaches. Kind of almost like a loss of identity, not really knowing what to do. But it was good for me. It was good for me. And this season was different, obviously, but we still had a great time, even though it was a little different, but we still made the most of it, I think. So.
Well, obviously this year, Clemson didn't start off early. You were sidelined with an injury. Yeah. How frustrating was that, knowing you could be out there helping the team, but you weren't able to because of the injury?
Yeah, it was I don't know, because it was extremely frustrating, but also at the same time it was a blessing in disguise because, again, like, I was able to kind of regroup without even knowing that I needed to regroup. And so I had like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it was, where I was able to really kind of break myself down and really figure some things out. And I think that's what helped me kind of play so well when I got back into the game, which made it even better, made it even sweeter. So it was good.
All right, so let's talk about, obviously Clemson fans want to see Clemson get back to Super Regionals, Omaha, and that's why you came to Clemson.
Right.
From a player's perspective, and there's going to be a lot of talk about this, and obviously Clemson's got some disadvantages to some other places that can offer endowments and full scholarships. Right. From a player's perspective, what do you think needs to happen at Clemson to get back to that level?
I think there's a lot of things that kind of need to happen. Foundationally speaking, within the program, I think there's a lot of things that kind of need to be reevaluated. And I think a true direction needs to be decided. Because I feel like a lot of times it felt like we weren't really sure where we were going, but we were wanting to go somewhere. And so I think a true direction needs to be established and then kind of build off of that. And it's so hard to kind of break that down because there's so many pieces, so many moving pieces with guys coming in and out.
Is the foundation players? Is it coaches? Is it things the university does?
It's not the university.
All of the above? Or?
I'd say it's more all of the above. More of like and it sounds so cliche, but to say culture from a culture standpoint. I think that that's what really needs to be broken down and really reevaluated, because that's what really sets the tone for the team, but also that season. So I really think that that's what really needs to be reevaluated to kind of get this thing going in the right direction again.
All right, you came in. I know you and Kiera played together before you get to Clemson.
Yeah.
You got to know a lot of those guys. You know, what's it, y'all's friendship grown, and what's it been like going through, you know, the seasons you did have just with your guys?
Right. It was so much fun. I was able to actually play with Sam Weatherly and Kier before we got here, and so that was awesome. And I actually ended up rooming with them our freshman year, both of them. So it was really cool. But these guys, I'm gonna talk to them for the rest of my life. Like, I will forever keep in touch with them. And I think that's what's so beautiful about college athletics as a whole. Regardless of how the seasons go, regardless of success or failure, I think that that's what's so amazing about it, because you're able to build relationships that literally will last the rest of your life. And so it's been awesome with them. Bryce Teodosio, Elijah Henderson, Bo Mikowski, all those guys. Obviously, there's a ton more, but those guys in my class, like, it's like I will forever keep in touch with them, you know. So it's been cool.
It's a new college landscape now with the transfer portal changes, and you just talked about those relationships and staying with that same group. It seems like that's going to change now. You're going to have guys coming and going, and, you know, hey, I didn't get enough playing time, I'm going to go somewhere else. And is the game going to lose some of that? The guys coming in and playing together for 3 or 4 years and kind of building those bonds, because, you know, we're expecting some transfers from Clemson. We're expecting, obviously, some transfer players to come in as you try to, you know, how's that going to change the game?
I haven't really given it that much thought, but I do think it will change things. I really do. And I feel like you're not able to really build as much of a cohesiveness with that, like you're saying, with guys coming in and out whenever, almost. So I don't know. I feel like transferring is hard. It is super hard to do that. Obviously, I've never done it, but you can imagine. And just from guys I've talked to and things like that. So I feel like people won't do it as much as we think they will, because that is like, you're going to a whole new place, all new people by yourself, you know? So it's a huge thing to kind of start over. So I don't think people will do it as much, but yeah, it will certainly, I think, affect a lot of things.
Baseball, obviously, you know, is a sport where the team may not be successful, but we see individuals go on and be very successful, like Spencer now is doing real well. Sam is doing well. You know, some of those guys individually. So, you know, what's your path look like now as you leave Clemson and your future? What do you think? Obviously, you know, you're one of those guys that's probably going to get a chance to play pro ball.
Right.
You know, how do you kind of change your mindset from, okay, Clemson team, to, hey, I got to concentrate on Sam now and my future?
Right. It's so hard, because I've been thinking about this a lot, because there's so much up in the air with this extra year, with the COVID year, and then a chance to play professional baseball, or what if it doesn't happen? There's so many things that could happen, or I go somewhere else for a 5th year, come back to Clemson. I mean, there's so many options. So it's super hard to kind of even think about an idea of what could happen. So I really have no idea, and especially with the draft being pushed back a whole month, that gives you, or that gives me, I think it's like 6 weeks from now. It gives me even longer to, or it gives all of us a lot longer to think about it. So I honestly have no idea what's going to happen.
So are you going to go somewhere else and work out, or are you going back to Hempstead and hit the beach we talked about, or what are you going to be doing here the next 6 weeks?
I'm going to go home for sure. I need to go home, kind of just decompress, see my family, go to the beach. Because the season's hard. Even though I didn't play as long as everybody else, it's still you know, pretty tough to do all that, especially with all the traveling and stuff. And so I'm definitely going to do that. I do have a facility and some friends I could work out with back home. But also here, I have my friends here. We could, you know, hit at the cages here, do whatever. So I have some options, which is good. So I'm not real sure yet.
All right, let's talk about memories. What are your favorite memories that you have from playing at Clemson?
Oh man, there's so many things that I could say, like, because I played with some unreal guys: Seth Beer, Chris Williams, Logan, Grayson Bird, Wilkie, all those guys. And so it was so much fun playing with them, because they made the game fun. Number one, because they were all really good. But number two, they were great guys, you know. So I'd say the first memory that comes to mind was my first start, which, naturally.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, that was like one of the best memories I'll ever have. I still have the ball, still kept the bat that I hit with. So that's probably one of the first memories I'll think about. But I mean, there's so many things. Like Seth Beer's home runs, Logan Davis's walk-off, Sam Weatherly at South Carolina. I mean, there's so many things, so I can't really pick and choose. It's kind of hard.
What are your thoughts as you move forward, about the coaches? Obviously, you build relationships with Kier and the players, but you also build relationships with, Bradley and Monty, and, what are those relationships going to be like in the future for you?
Right. I don't know. Because we did build a great relationship, especially because I've been here 4 years, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, and they're great guys. So, I mean, of course I'm going to keep in touch with them. And they've helped me a ton. They helped me grow in so many different ways. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lose. I don't plan on losing touch with them.
Right.
So.
Now, will you be one of those guys that'll come back to Clemson a lot? Or obviously some of that will depend on your future and you're playing ball year round. And, what are your thoughts of, looking back and, coming back to Clemson in the future with your teammates and hanging out? And I saw Richie Schaefer at the game last night.
Yeah,
he was in Charlotte watching you guys.
Yeah. I mean, Clemson's awesome. Clemson is like the most amazing place, one of the most amazing places I've ever been. I'm super grateful for my time here. So blessed that I'm able to call this place home for the rest of my life. So yeah, I like you're saying, like based on how kind of my schedule and stuff like that, but I plan on coming back here as much as I can and seeing these guys, because that's what I'm the most sad about, I think, right now with the season ending, is not seeing my teammates for however long, so I'm going to make it a plan to come back as much as I can, come to football games, tailgates, do whatever.
Last question for you. Season ends, one of the things you guys do is you sit down with Monty and the coaches and you have the exit interviews.
Right.
What is that process like?
Right. This being my last one, I'm not real sure how that's supposed to go. But so you kind of just go in there and you just have a real conversation about things you did, things you need to work on, things you're doing really well at, and kind of just talk about things with the program, different fundamental things within the program, with the staff, culture-wise, all this stuff kind of encompasses everything. And based on how honest you want to be, that kind of sets the direction of kind of where it goes.
How the conversation goes.
Yeah.
Right. Whether you want to be open or just
Hey,
check the box and move on.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. Well, we want to thank Sam. Sam actually from Hempstead down where I've got a beach house. So we're going to connect in the future. We're going to do some fishing and some things down there now that his days are over here at Clemson. But really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you. We got to know each other pretty good when you were going through the recruiting process.
Yes, sir.
And been awesome following your Clemson career, and we wish you the best of luck and hope we'll see you up playing in the majors one day.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir.